Good everyone. So moving on to the next video is the UpFlux monitoring service, and this monitoring service builds upon the foundation, which is the monitoring library. And all this does is it takes the monitoring library and uses the details, it gets the metrics like I mentioned before, and gathers those metrics from the quality control machine based on the set amount of seconds in the application settings file. So you see the application settings JSON file, you can see 3 seconds for the monitoring service seconds. So what this does is the monitoring service just uses the library's logic and gets the metrics from the devices every couple of seconds. And just to also show here, I've made a design document for that, which is the monitoring service design document. So this is also going to be linked at the bottom of the page for this, and so you can go through this if you want to. So going back to the code there, so what actually happens is in the monitoring service is when the service has been started, when the monitoring service has been started, there's actually a simulation state. So what the simulation state is, well, in UpFlux we're trying to replicate how the schedule of an actual machine or device in factories, there are going to be certain times whereby let's just say like a bottle company, a particular machine is going to fill up the bottle with air, another is going to put a drink in, another is going to close it. So in this case we have something called the simulation state manager, and what this actually does is at the moment we have 3 Raspberry Pis, which is the 3 quality control machines, and what this does is for each of them it simulates a busy time and a free time. So let's say for instance 3 to 5 minutes is going to pick a random time within 3 to 5 minutes and it's going to be busy. Then after 3 to 5 minutes it's going to pick another random time between like 1 to 5 minutes saying it's free. So this is just to give it the flow between busy, free, busy, free. That's what we have there. So what that does is as soon as the monitoring service is being started, it actually checks for a license. It checks if it has the actual license in the we have a secret folder where we store the UpFlux license. It actually checks. If it doesn't have the valid license, it makes a call to the gateway server, and the gateway server as well on the other side actually also validates as well in its own database if the actual quality control machine has a license to send data as well. So on checking if the device actually does have, if the quality control machine does actually have a valid license, the gateway gives it a go ahead to actually send data, and in that case then it actually does send data over for the collect all metrics. And what this collect all metrics does is all the metrics the library does, the CPU metrics, the memory, network, temperature, it does all of that and appends a timestamp to it, so we know each particular time the metrics were collected on the quality control machine. And then we add in the sensor data, which is gotten from the RGB sensor, where we're using to replicate the quality control machine to get the actual color of the paper, and we append that in a JSON and send all that data to the gateway server, which from then on sends that to the cloud. So I'm going to give just a quick demo of the service. Due to the fact that it's a Raspberry Pi, the architecture is ARM, it's a 32-bit, so I have that packed into a 32-bit, and I'm going to just run it right now. And okay, so when the home page of the Raspberry Pi 1, as you can see at the bottom, so we're going to navigate to the location, which is going to be /opt. This actually does run as a service. I'm just going to check if I have it turned off. As you can see, it's dead, which means I have it turned off. So just so we can run it manually for the sake of this video, I'm going to go to the monitoring service and then monitor. So I have it running right now. So as you can see, the worker service has started, and execute sensor script. What that does is the sensor script actually is in charge of running the RGB sensor, which actually detects the color of the paper below the sensor. And the Python script has started. As you can see, it's checking for the license. The license is valid, and then it can actually proceed to collect. And these are all the metrics it's gathering: the CPU, the memory, the network, the temperature. And at the moment no sensor data received, and this is because we had, in order to prevent a wrong color from being detected, we had it done in such a way that you can hear it's beeping behind me, which means the sensor script has started. We had it done in such a way that the first detection is not going to be a valid detection. After 2 seconds, then from then on, the RGB sensor actually does detect color. So this is the tutorial for the monitoring service, which actually runs the monitoring library. Thank you. I'm just going to stop this.